So, hi, good day. So, nandito na tayo ngayon sa last module na natin for this finals. Here we can see module 12. And as you could recall, yung pinag-discussan natin last is about family planning. Now, this time, it's relatable din naman because it's all about the family planning, okay, or measures on population. So, how is it relatable? Okay, or population control. Sabi nga dito, in the past generation talaga, before, pag maraming anak yung isang pamilya before, no, at some point, economic necessity siya. Bakit? Kasi nakakatulong sa pagsasaka, pagtatanim, and ganon. And hanggang sa since 1974 pa yan. But right now, we already almost 8 billion sa panahon natin ngayon. Population continues to grow and the earth will have a population of 7 billion by 2020. Ngayon 2021 na. We're almost 8 billion na. Having this number of people on earth, problems occur not only to the family concern but also to the society and also to the world itself. Kasi nga in relation dyan, no, supply, of course, noise, na-discuss natin yan, diseases, rapid spread, something like that. And the problem of population can be viewed in its totality only when we consider also the problem of production. Of course, related talaga. Ang kaya talaga lumalaki yung population, lumulobo, kasi the production itself, the procreation of mankind, okay? As what Malthus had predicted, while the world's food supply would increase, arithmetically, the world's population would multiply. Kasi nakikita ng mga tao na okay din naman, kaya na sustain din tayo, and then they are making children. Okay, so with the continuing multiplication of population, the result is higher population growth, which will eventually threaten the comfort and the lives of man. Now, population focuses economic effort on consumption rather than production. Okay, there are times talaga na may mga hindi lang congestion mangyayari, meron din times na famine, often times nga, yun actually yung pag-aangkat ng pagkain natin, no, relational man siya sa consumption natin. Sometimes yung supply natin dito, ang taas-taas ng demand, yung mga pananim, no, nauubos, nag-aangkat tayo. It's because ang daming population in relation to consumption. Now, the imposition of the floating rate through the economic out of Hitler, the consequently brought rate of growth down sa ating economic. So, while it is true, we are now faced the tricky problem of creeping inflation. Of course, we are still suffering from underproduction. In terms po siya to underproduction po sa food. Okay? And maybe in agriculture or in animal husbandry, yun yung mga pagkain natin. Sometimes ngayon is karamihan na sa ating mga ibinga bigas inaangkat pa natin sa ibang bansa. Ang laki-laki ng lupa natin hindi pa nasasaka dito sa Pilipinas. So there is urgently a need for more food, more clothing, more and cheaper medicine, and more housing in relation to the growth of the population. Now, in the world as a whole, death from starvation and malnutrition is not unusual. Parang naging common na yung nangyayari. Kasi nga, marami yung population. Of course, yan, marami din yung rate na walang makain yung isang bata. Now, many infants and young children die of malnutrition because there is not enough good food for everyone. They are much lack pag may makakain, no? Paswerte na sila pag may, at least hindi sila mag-suffer. Okay, so minds and other sickness, swerte na sila kung walang sickness, while those poor result to piling up economic and health problems, overcrowding sa pamilya, emotional tension, nag-aaway na, deprivation of love, iniiwan yung bata kasi ang daming anak, consequent stunting of children's growth, yung bata is parang stagnant sa growth, or often strives between parents, nag-aaway na yung mag-asawa, and unable to provide an adequate living for his family. No, so yan na yung nangyayari talaga. Okay, so oftentimes talaga the father may be driven by desert with wife and his children, nagagalit, leaving no recourse but to apply for public assistance. Yan yung nangyayari. Actually, mostly na pumupunta talaga sa DSWD talaga is related talaga dito. There are family problems, maraming anak. Sila yung mga oftentimes dyan, mga kliyente ng DSWD na tinutulungan. Now, the children may become school dropouts, juvenile delinquents, narcotic addicts, no, which would be a lifetime problem. No, lifelong problem rather to themselves and to the society. Yan yung nagiging problema. Okay, so siguro nasabi ko last sa mga meetings natin, sa mga discussions natin na karamihan sa mga juvenile delinquents, dropout, narcotic addicts, or maybe psychopath are coming from the problematic family. Pero bakit ba naging problematic yung family? Isa to sa mga rason. Madaming pamilya, no, hindi sila masustentuhan. Ganito yung nangyayari. Relatable talaga dito yung population control, and especially the issue of family planning, which is kind of like somewhat controversial. Okay? More people also brought a rapid increase in vehicular traffic. Now, the government plan having elevated highways, skyways, urban, kaya ngayon mag-build kasi ang dami ng sasakyan. Congestion also brought cities problem of health, sanitation, peace and order, drainage, no, sewerage. No, kaya nakita yung mga kanal, nagkaklag, no, nababara, supply of water, no. There is also the need for more infrastructure, more road, harbors, airports, and bridges. So, kaya pala maraming build yung administration natin kasi nga we need it concerning our population. Now, all these problems are now being faced by the world due to overpopulation, and the result of this overpopulation is that man is demanding more and more. Now, we can then say that in many ways we are also victims of our own success. Totoo nga, no? In such a way that because of the advances of the surgery, so buti na lang talaga there is an advances in surgery, medicine, and research, and anti-malarial and pest measures, obstetric care, child care, better housing, and water supply. The result, buti na lang, supposedly kasi, kung without these inventions, okay, with this science, ang dami natin ngayon, siguro laganap yung sakit, buti na lang din, because of our intelligence, ito yung nangyari. Now, if people live longer, okay, old age which was once so venerated, because it was so rare, now, nothing out ordinary. So, ngayon, humahaba rin yung buhay. Now, the infant mortality rate has been greatly reduced with introduction of better methods of caring newborn babies, no? So, and wonder drugs, no? Yung may mga gamot na, no, for the hopeless, and all this increased knowledge plus a better standard of living in some areas of the world have almost doubled the lifespan, no? When all these reasons combine, the result is larger population. Okay, at some point nga yung sinabi dito, we can say that we are victims of our own success, and because of this, no, lumulobo yung tao, taas yung buhay, may mga naaanak pa, in a minute, in a second, I don't know, tumataas yung population natin. Now, the fall of the rates means the more people are surviving than formerly. No, the fall in infant mortality rates means more children survive, grow up, marry, and in turn reproduce another humankind. Now, the only way to resolve all these problems is by reducing population growth, no? But how can this be done? Now, one way is by conscious control of reproduction in connection to family planning. Now, the conscious control of reproduction by individual families or societies is not new. Actually, it appears to be an old in some places. Now, bakit? Kasi before pa talaga to, ginagawa na pala to nila. No, here's a record. Now, there was this discovery of Egyptian papery, yung lumang mga papel, in 1889, before Christ, BC pa. Ang tagal-tagal na nito. No, so, provided the earliest written evidence that ancient civilizations were concerned with birth control. Na introductions were given to the use of crocodile dung, grass, seaweed, dry figs, mustard seed, lemon, and ground up tips of acacia shrub as vagina's barrier. Siguro after sexual intercourse, yan yung ginagamit para mamatay yung sperm to control somewhat the population. Okay, or at some point, may family planning pa sila ginagamit before para hindi mabuntis yung isang tao. Okay, yan yung mga ginagamit na before na kumbaga sa atin ngayon, ito, para siyang mga contraceptive, parang ganon. Now, what is the meaning of population control and family planning. Kasi oftentimes kasi we misunderstand these things. We're talking family control, sometimes naisip natin family planning kaagad to. Now, population control is the control of rate of population growth. Okay? It encompasses not only fertility control of the relation between fertility and mortality for the country as a whole, but also control migration din, di ba? Sometimes nga, di ba, for any regions of the country, sometimes nga, di ba, kinokontrol tayo yung migration, pinipigilan kung sino lang yung pwede mag-open ng country for migration, like ganito, control lang, may bilang. Kasi nga, of course, hindi are so conscious din sa pagpasok ng population, kasi kinda like risk din yan. More need, more housing, and of course, maybe peace and order issue din. And maybe then, baka may mga diseases. Example natin ngayon, COVID, di ba? And there is this control of migration. Kaya nga at some point talaga, dapat tong kontrolin kasi medyo delikado din to. And how about family planning? Anong difference nila? So, people in almost all parts of the world are agreed that family planning is necessary in every country which desires to raise the living standard of its people. Now, in the families of the same income, the larger the family, the lower the standard of living. Kaya nga, so, ibig sabihin ito, kung malaki yung pamilya nyo, oftentimes na-divide kasi yung resources. Unless if you're too rich, mayaman kayo, and there's no problem to this. But we are talking here about those poor families who have larger family size. So, naglo-lower na talaga yung standard of living. Sometimes yung pagkain na, i-divide yung income. Sometimes, tingi-tingi lang yung napupunta sa mga bata. But what is the family planning and how does it help in controlling the population? Actually, medyo related naman sila. Pero sometimes din kasi yung family planning kasi it does not concern about population control lang, okay? Yung population control, it talks about population control lang, ano? It does not talk din sa mga family din. It encompasses din sa regions and in the society. While family planning naman, it encompasses not just about contraceptive, about pills, or controlling the birth. No, it encompasses everything about the rearing of the children, concerning family planning, parenthood. Diyan din yung related yung family planning. Ito lang kasi, parang medyo wala siyang parenthood na part. Ito kasi family planning, all-in-one na to in terms of family. Itong population control, it's a macro category na to, as a whole na siya, okay? Pero pasok pa rin yung population control in family planning, but family planning has its own degree of definition, okay? Now, family planning means spacing of children and that parents are completely free to choose the number of children they want. It has also been defined as rational, voluntary, and moral management of all processes of family life, including human reproduction. This means that it must be dictated by reason and intelligence. It must be a free choice, of course, a practice of man's God-given will or violation. Now, the decision must be left to the person's conscience, depende yun sa tao. But there are really country, guys, actually, no, family planning to them is enforced. You don't follow it, kukunin lang yung anak mo. Pag nasubraan ka ng anak, yung anak mo, you must surrender it to the government. May mga ganun nangyayari. Now, the family planning is a simple way of regulating and spacing the birth of children, has also been referred to as the totality of human efforts to achieve human dignity, okay, economic stability, health, and happiness and welfare through birth regulation, spacing of children by the use of accepted scientific methods like contraception or example pills or anything, treatments for infertility, family life and sex education, premarital guidance and marriage counseling, premarital and postnatal care. Now, family planning has some advantages actually to the father and mother. For the father, he has the ability to choose the number of children according to his means. Depende sa pera ng isang ama kung kaya ba niyang buhayin. Okay? And less financial worry, more comfort at home, and happier marital relation. Now, for the mother naman, she can have better spacing of babies, freedom from fear of unwanted pregnancy, better health, kasi of course, at some point kasi at risk yung health ng mother dito, for too frequent pregnancy and a major cause of anemia and ill health, and she can have more time to care for each member of the family. While for the children naman, they can have happier home, more love and care, better food, better health, better education, and better education can bring a chance of good job kasi nasusustentuhan talaga yung bata, hindi nakaka-stop ng pag-aaral. And when a couple decides that they are going to practice family planning, their choice of number of children they want, as well as contraceptive method, so hindi to force po dito sa Pilipinas, they are going to use is strictly a personal choice. But then, even though it's a personal choice, somewhat there are contraception pa rin na kailangan ng doctor's advice. Kasi medyo baka madelikado pa. As family planning supporters keep reminding potential acceptors, however, a child should have the right to be born to a mother and father who want it and ready for it. Of course naman, hindi yung pagmulat ng bata, kawawang kawawa, walang kamalay-malay, hindi pala handa yung ina at ama niya sa kanya. Bata yung kawawa. So, here's some methods of family planning. Contraception. So, contraception is nothing new. This method and the knowledge have been with us since biblical times. Now, traditional methods of preventing pregnancy include rhythm or safe period or withdrawal or coitus interruptus and douching. Now, contraception is the conscious regulation of pregnancy by couple who have regular sex relations. Contraception is not used to destroy new life. It is the prevention, okay? It does not destroy actually. It is a prevention of conception or the meeting of woman's egg cell of the man's sperm and the man's sperm, which is start for fertilization and the start of a new life. Now, there are methods for all types, for men and women and or both. Now, the methods are 6 and categorizes into 3. Okay, let's discuss it later. Now, one method is one that needs the cooperation of both man and woman, of course. Such method is rhythm method. Okay, depende sa inyo, sa rhythm. Okay, sa pakiramdam in timingin nyo, okay, sa kalendaryo, gumagamit yan ng kalendaryo, okay. Now, another method is where the woman is the main instrument or user. May ginagamit talaga. Now, the pill, the intrauterine device, the diaphragm, are women's method which need medical prescription, especially the doctor who knows that. Now, she can also use chemical methods that includes vaginal foam, jelly cream, suppository, or tablets, which may be purchased at any drugstore with or without doctor's prescription. Now, the last category is the method used the men. Coitus interruptus and coitus reservatus are two such methods which need no external aid actually. Now, the condom or rubber sheet, better known is in the rural areas as the gold coin. Okay? A takeoff from the trademark of one brand is a method which need either a doctor's prescription or supervision. Okay? Now, all these methods provide to prevent the union of the sperm cell and egg cell. The following is the summary of contraceptive. Now, we have may mga pill tayo. So, may mga pills, ganon. This is a combination of synthetic hormones. The hormone lang kasi ito, kinokontrol niya yung hormones. There are varieties of pill available. This prevents the ovary from releasing egg cell. Now, the usual schedule in one pill a day for 20 and 21 consecutive days each month, beginning 5 days after the menstrual period. The variation of 21 pill schedule will result the danger in pregnancy. Okay? There are times talaga you need to consult it. Okay? In using this, one must first consult the doctor. Okay? And of course, we have here like another hormonal drugs, pill have undesirable side effects, of course. Now, many of them resemble the symptoms of pregnancy. The most common side effects are tenderness and swelling of the breast, no weight gain and retention of fluid, nausea, headaches, depression, nervousness, and irritability, and bleeding. To careful of type. Possible hazard as the risk of death from thromboembolic disease can be minimized through close supervision by an alert physician. Okay? Hindi yung kahit pa mabibili nyo siya ng free without a prescription is still, okay? If symptom persists, okay? Consult your doctor. Now, we have IUD here or intrauterine device. Okay? This is a small object made of plastic. So, makikita natin yan. Ito yung forma niya, oh. May forma siya. Ito, IUD. Okay? Ito yung IUD, yung pills. Okay? Itong yung pill, di ba? May mga days dyan. Okay, alam na natin yan. Diaphragm. Okay, so IUD. This is a small object made of plastics or stainless steel. It is inserted into the womb by a trained physician talaga and left there indefinitely. So, ang sakit nun sa babae siya. Okay? ini-insert siya sa babae, sa vagina part, sa womb. It is not as effective as the pill, but also prevents pregnancy. Now, many women have to remove the IUD because medyo may sakit, pain, some bleeding and discomfort are usual for the short time after insertion. But when these symptoms continue or excessive, no, best to remove it. Such problem usually disappearing immediately after the device is taken out. Kasi baka may tusok-tusok or medyo nakakaipit. Now, according to Erlex, the IUD is its present stage or development is probably most suitable for women over 30 years of age who have completed their families. Okay, they are less likely to have a birth control failure, to have problem with side effects or expel the IUD. And we also have here diaphragm. Okay, so diaphragm is a cup shape made of rubber. Okay, ito po yung diaphragm. Ipakita natin. Ito yung diaphragm. Okay, so hindi po siya condom. Okay, yung condom po ito po. Ito. Okay, para siya talagang pahaba talaga siya kasi pinapasok siya sa penis. And of course here, let's not call it diaphragm. Ano ba yung diaphragm? Okay, so diaphragm yung diaphragm pala, sa babae siya, ini-insert. Yung condom, of course, sa lalaki. This is flexible cup-shaped device made of rubber inserted before the intercourse. Talaga, it is used with vagina. Sa babae po siya ginagamit, ha? With vaginal cream or jelly. It is placed in the vagina to cover the entrance to the womb. Now, it must be properly inserted so as to prevent sperm from passing into the womb. Now, the doctor will show you how to insert it. Now, you should return to the doctor at least every 2 years and after each pregnancy to have the diaphragm check for size. In-insert po siya. Oftentimes talaga medyo papapasok sa pasok talaga siya sa medyo sa inner na part. Yung sa lalaki naman external lang yung condom. Now, one should remember that the pills and IUD and diaphragm are contraceptive methods which require doctor's prescription. Okay, ito po yung pill, IUD and diaphragm, it really needs, okay, doctor's prescription. Condom naman. A condom is a thin sheet or cover made of rubber or similar material. Now, it is worn over the penis. Sa lalaki siya. Unlike diaphragm na sa pambabae. During sexual intercourse, it catches and holds the husband's sperm so they cannot enter the vagina and fertilize the egg cell. Failures may be due to tearing. Sometimes may mga ganito, napupunit. Or to its sleeping, i-double nyo na lang. Of during the sex act. Unlike other devices, prescription is not required nito. Pwedeng bumili nito. Chemical method naman tayo. These are chemical preparations such as vaginal foam, jelly cream, suppository tablet, special powder ito. Nandun po yung picture. Pakita ko yung picture mamaya. A special powder or fluid applied with a sponge is also available. It acts in vagina by coating the surfaces and entrance to the womb. And it destroys the sperms cells and may act as mechanical barrier as well. Okay, this is with or without prescription. And of course, we have here the most written method. This method based on the knowledge of the woman's cycle. Kung alam yung cycle niya, ay hindi siya fertile ngayon, wala siyang mens, pwede siya. It is the only method that the Catholic Church approves of. It is also referred to as periodic abstention. Kung meron, wag muna. Kung wala, okay. It is a plan of avoiding sexual intercourse during the wife's fertile period or yung mens yata. That is before and rather after an egg has been produced in her body. Most women release an egg cell about once a month, usually 14 days before menstruation. And this may vary from 1 month to month and it's necessary to determine whether accurate possible ba siya, okay? Aside from administration of pill, condom, and intrauterine or IUD, intrauterine device, and written method of contraceptives, the family planning is also employing sterilization for male and female. So, ano yung sterilization? Okay? So, sabi dito, means sterilizing. Okay? Sterilization from the male is called vasectomy. Okay? Pinuputol talaga yun. May pinuputol na medyo ugat dyan. Ugat ba yung tawag dyan or something? Okay? Para hindi na talaga makadaan yung sperm. Sa part siya sa lalaki. While for female, tubal ligation, may pinuputol din. Okay, so pakita ko sa inyo yung picture ng vasectomy, okay? Ay, na sterilization. So ito, baka hindi siya klaro, vasectomy siya, B-A-C-T, vasectomy. Para siyang ugat or tube siya, pinuputol hanggang tinatali. Yung tubo dito, na bumubuhos lang doon yung kuan, hindi siya nakakadaloy talaga. Dapat siya ikuan kasi kung pabayaan lang, hindi itali, baka pa rin mag-meet halfway yung fluid, okay? So, it's a nice thing talaga, tinalian talaga siya, okay, para hindi na siya makatawid. Okay, so, yun yung sterilization sa part ng babae. Vasectomy is an operation whereby a tube, okay, or Van's difference, where the sperm cells pass in being removed, and in tubal ligation naman, so Van's difference sa lalaki, sa ligation naman sa babae, the one removed is tube where the egg cells pass. Now, those who possibly agree to use this method or undergo such operation are those with 3 to 4 children. Actually, yung mother ko is already a ligate yung tawag sa kanya. I think pang 5th na niya akong anak, okay? In other words, sterilization is a couples whose families are complete. Kompleto naman kami, magasto na, okay? Tsaka yung mother ko rin, parang 50 na yata siya. May menopausal na. Now, the procedure is much simpler for the male. According to the sources, there are no side effects to the cost of operations. Cost of operations is cheaper. Okay? Ito yun, pill. Okay, pills. May mga ovulin, day pack, may mga date dyan. Ito yung IUD. Ininisal sa vagina, okay? Ng isang doctor sa womb pala rather. At ito yung diaphragm, hindi siya condom ha. Diaphragm, medyo kalok-alak rin sa condom pag hindi na-stretch yung condom, okay? Pero sa babae yung diaphragm, okay? So, there are some contraceptive methods which require doctor's advice talaga. Katulad ng pill, diaphragm, and IUD. Sometimes sila pa yung nagkukuan yan, nagka-calculate or naglalagay. Katulad ng diaphragm, oftentimes doctor yung naglalagay and IUD yung naglalagay naman. So, ito yung foam tablets, may mga tablets, and of course, we have here condoms, IUD din, vasectomy, yung may pinuputol lang nangyari, parang surgery na may surgery nang ginagamit. Ito yung rhythm system. Nakikita niya, okay? Parang dito ako walang mens, dito ako, okay, pwede dito. Ito yung tubal ligation, pinuputol yung sa babae, sa tube sa nilaligate. And of course, we have here foam and jelly creams, pills, and the like. Now, we have also here douching. Now, this is done by flushing out the vagina with a medicated solution immediately after intercourse to remove or destroy the sperm. Abstinence. Okay. Meron dito abstinence. Now, this is refraining from sexual intercourse. Sabi nga dito, it is 100% effective. Of course naman, no? And to have all these methods of family planning or the family planning possible, one must be full of fire and enthusiasm about it yourself in persuading people to do such. If people are convinced of the possibility of family planning, the result will not only help the couples, either rich or poor, to have a sound and healthy family, but also make the nation's powerful and stronger one. The world is not after the quantity, but the quality of the people. Okay? Hindi to paramihan. Breastfeeding naman in connection to this. Breastfeeding is recommended because it helps to lengthen the infertile period following the childbirth. Okay? So, nagiging infertile na dito pag nagbe-breastfeed yung mother. Okay, however, since the length of protection afforded by breastfeeding is highly variable, another method of pregnancy prevention must supplement breastfeeding. Para na rin po yun sa bata. Hindi po porket yung breastfeeding accordingly daw, kinda like nag-lengthen siya ng infertility ng parang hindi mo na nabubuntis, kinda like yung mother. Okay? Now, any couples who desire to use the family planning method should visit family planning clinic so that they can learn the important details concerning the particular methods they may choose and assure pregnancy protection. Okay? And we also let's have here general principles governing the choice of contraceptive. Now, the following governing the choice of contraceptive, one is contraceptive method is not an married individual but for married people. So, it's not for unmarried individual. Of course naman, no? Kasi baka pa ma-aksidente, okay? Mabuntis, di pa kasal. Delikado yung bata. Although only one mate may be involved in its use, its effects on interpersonal as well as sexual relationship of husband and wife. Now, the effectiveness and the acceptability of any method are in direct proportion to the experience of the physician. Depende po sa prescription ng physician kung ano yung mas i-fit din niya kasi sa couple din. The physician, being human, has his own preference then, an emotional reaction thereto. It is only listening to his respect with the patient's reaction, but couple's emotional needs will be met talaga. Sometimes kasi may mga emotional or experience ng physician, ito yung nangyari sa client ko before, may mga ganun, and mag-suggest siya. Pero depende pa rin yan sa decision nyo as couple. Kasi kayo yung magagamit niyan. Human element in the organization and implementation of family planning. Okay, so family planning programs have what they call human element naman. It's all for human, not just for the world. Hindi lang to na para mabawasan yung population for the nature. No, it's all about human talaga. Secondary na nga yan actually. In its organization and implementation, the programs designed to moderate population growth are adjusted to suit economic status, cultural values, effect of the population. The Population Institute 16 briefly summarized this as follows. So first talaga, emphasize on family welfare, no? So para talaga siya sa welfare kung ng bata, kasi kung maraming anak din hindi nasustentuhan masyado. Integration of health services in connection din kasi to health services and connection to sexuality and of course and health. Kasi may mga connection dito yung mga breast cancer, prostate cancer sa mga ganitong family planning, okay? Of course, it's meeting latent demands for the services. Na salutary features of most national planning programs is freedom of principle and open practice, which offer individual couples to make choice of contraceptive method. Okay? Now, let's talk about ano yung sabi ng church dito. Okay? Position ng church dito about the family planning. On July 31, 1975, Julio R. Cardinal Rosales, President of CBCP or Catholic Bishop of the Philippines, made the following classification on the Standard of Church of the Philippines Population Program. Now, sabi dito, the church is in accord with the government on the need of family planning. The church, in fact, has always advocated responsible parenthood. The church respects the government responsibility in making available to the citizens such means of family planning, and that would not violate their conscience of those employed by the government in its program. The church advocates the family planning like program of the Responsible Parenthood Council. Okay? The church maintains the individual's conscience in ultimate arbiter in the choice of means of the family planning. This conscience, however, must be in accordance with the official teaching of the church. The bishops are grateful of President Marcos, who directed the Philippine Commission on Population to include Responsible Parenthood Council in Asian Social Institute without discrimination in its budget allocation and in the use of its facilities and personnel. On the demand of responsible parenthood, His Holiness Pope VI expressed him an awareness on the world's demographic situation and the consequent changes this has brought about in terms of conception control and other social development stress in his encyclical Humanae Vitae. Responsible parenthood entails a human understanding of biological laws, which is a part of human personality and person. Responsible parenthood, second, demands that man must control nature or instincts and passion controlling man. So you must, accordingly here, you must have a self-control. Don't let your lust control you or your passion control you. Responsible parenthood decides with either to have numerous family or to avoid for the time being or even an infinite period a new birth after weighing serious motives and considering the moral law. Responsible parenthood means that the couples makes the decision in the light of their duties towards God, towards themselves, and towards the family and the society. Human Vitae and birth control, according to Pope Paul VI, encyclical Human Vitae outlines the following position. Accordingly here, according to the outline, now it endorses the limiting of the family size, but it condemns artificial birth control. No, like those who can really kill even though sperm pa lang yan. Directing sterilization. It condemns sterilization, whether temporarily or permanent. This is considered immoral. It condemns any action before, during, and after marital acts that would make a new birth impossible. It condemns, it three naman, it stresses to positive values, the value of human life and the responsible parenthood, especially as related to marital. Okay, thus the only conception control is a natural disposition, which is written method as approved by the Pope Paul VI for all the Catholic. Okay, conclusion. Okay, indeed, family planning is an important thing in our lives. Okay, so this sum ups our last topic, and I will be posting it maybe later. Okay.